Well, so I have my guest in the studio, Emmanuel Kosi Bejra is a member of Parliament for Whole West. He's here. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you, Roland, and good
and
morning.
Also Emmanuel Chemantinge Jakun is a member of Parliament for Ayawaso West Wogon. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Roland.
And I have to start off with you. And
thank you for having me.
Yes, and how is Yabedu?
Yabedu is very well.
Okay.
She's very well.
I know that she roasts plantain.
On Lagos Avenue.
Okay. That's easily gone.
Yes.
Okay.
And the son is going to secondary school for free come September.
Do you know which school? You don't know yet.
No.
The results are not yet.
It doesn't matter. It's completely immaterial.
Whether he has a grade that is above 24.
He's going to secondary school for free.
Okay.
Free SHS is here.
So we all agree that it's not about your grade.
All right. So there's been a tragic incident involving Kumasi Asante Kotoko and the team bars and some players. We're told that it happened in the late hours of yesterday. They were returning after playing a match here in Accra with Inter Allies. Just some few messages to the fans as well as the management of the Porcupine Warriors.
Well, I hope that there were no fatalities.
There was one. That's all.
So condolences to bereaved family and to the management of famous and fabulous Kumasi Asante Kotoko. Again, what I read coming here is that they ran into a stationary vehicle, isn't it?
Well, something of the sort.
It brings us back to this very topical issue of stationary vehicles, cars that break down and park in the middle of the road. We must find a way to correct it. We must not allow cars to park that break down for whatever reason to park in the middle of the road. It poses a threat to all and sundry, to all of us, everybody that uses.
Even if your car is comprehensive.
What has it got to do? I mean, if you run into a stationary vehicle, what has a comprehensive or third-party insurance got to do with this? I think the challenge we have is the modus operandi, how we want to do this. But I maintain that we must not throw away the baby with the bathwater. With the bathwater. I have stated somewhere that probably, like many things that happened in the past, an attempt to solve a critical safety problem on the road was deal-driven rather than strategy, proper strategic considerations. Some people got together and decided that we can make money out of this, so let's fashion something that will bring the returns to us. If that is what it is, we must still go ahead and find an equitable, transparent method to ensure that cars that break down on the are taken away as soon as possible. As soon as possible.
Please, your messages to the Asante Kotoko fan, that will include me.
Yeah,
I'm a
thank
great
you,
supporter of Kumasi
Roland. Unfortunately, I'm not a supporter of Asante Kotoko. I'm a hard supporter. But the Republic Day, you trash us with 4-1. However, my condolences to the bereaved family. One soul loss is enough to
now one or two others critical
condition. We pray for those who are in critical condition to get well soon and also join their colleagues later. My colleague has mentioned it that it is not the best for this country as we grow, as we develop. We should develop in every area. In some jurisdiction, you have cars that are not usable on the road, towed away. But in this country, when issues of this nature came up, most people think that is not the best, and we should find another method of towing cars away or another method of punishing people who have left their cars on the way. Now we have one soul lost. as a result of this incident. What do we do as a nation? If somebody has brought an idea and the authorities, that's the National Safety, Road Safety Commission, has decided to go with this particular idea, for me, I don't see anything wrong with it, except that the charges might not be economical to us. But in any case, it is a good idea. We should look through it and see how best we can resolve this issue. It is not only on the Kumasi Road that we have this incident. It's all over the country.
Do you encounter that when you travel?
Yes, especially there's a road very close to my hometown where they decided to expand the road. They started it last year. You see a lot of cars having accidents as a result of the road networks. Unfortunately, those accident cars have not been moved away. So you see cars bombing into those accident cars. If we have this LI working or those rules working, that cars should be towed away as soon as they have an accident. I believe that we will not be having multiple deaths or accidents as a result of the cars being parked or having a problem on the way. So let me use this opportunity to tell the Transport Ministry, who has suspended it, to come with some other solution that we can all have as to make sure that we keep this.
That will remedy the situation.
Yeah, that will remedy the situation.
All right. So let's move on to substantive issues. And yesterday I was in Parliament. A statement, some questions were asked of the Ministry of Agriculture. We had a Deputy Minister coming onto the floor, and some of the critical questions were about the fall armyworms. And we know there are serious issues, especially when we have government mainstream policy to create enough buffer for us with the program on planting for food and jobs. Now, how do we deal with the fall armyworms? Because from the farmers and a piece we have by our own correspondent, Joseph Opoku-Gapo, we've not been doing too well about.
Well, yesterday the Deputy Minister who represented the Minister on this issue stated that they have purchased chemicals and they are doing the spraying, and that has resolved the issue. That was what we were told yesterday on the floor of the House. If your reporter came back to say that, yes, the issue has not been resolved, then there is a little doubt about the answers that the minister gave. If you can give us some evidence that the issue has not been resolved, then we can follow up as a committee on government assurance, and also our colleagues from the Agri Committee can follow up. Because we are all waiting for the planting for food and jobs, we are also waiting that this country will be food sufficient. If there anything that will impede that process, we all have to work together as a nation to make sure that we have sufficient food in our basket, so that we will not be importing the food. Armyworm, we all know that is seasonal, and if we plan very well, especially our planning officers at the Ministry of Agri, if they can plan very well, that this season you have invasion not only of armyworm but other worms as well that will affect our agriculture product, and you are able to secure remedy. That's buying the facilities that will remedy the situation. I believe that we will not be getting to where we are today, but it looks like some of our technical people who are the planners sometimes go to sleep. One of the issues that came up as a result of this question yesterday was about the procurement of those chemicals, and we at the minority side are going into it because the question was asked how many chemicals were purchased initially.
In terms of the quantities?
In terms of types. And the minister said 2. Later on he came back to say a lot. So we wanted to know when the procurement was done, how it was done, and the type of chemicals that were procured, whether they were effective in eradicating the armyworm or not. These are the issues that we are still working on, and very soon the minority caucus will come out with our release.
A press conference.
On fall armyworms too. Fall armyworms. But at the end of the day, there were some critical questions that needed to be answered, more so with the number of farms and the hectares and the acreages. And just before yesterday, I had in the studio a technical advisor to the Ministry of Food and Agriculture and we had asked some critical questions. They said they were resolving the issue, but it's about the preemptiveness. We know this has been an annual occurrence over the last couple of years. How preemptive should we be so that needlessly we don't lose farms and crops?
Farm produce. Well, first and foremost, I would want to state that in my candid opinion, the Deputy Minister for Agri did well. You see, parliamentary questions, members are allowed to ask supplementary. Okay. It is not possible to anticipate every question that will be asked. Indeed, our own standing orders would states very clearly that questions that are not directly related to the main questions are not even allowed. I would want to place on record that the Deputy Minister did reasonably well. Probably some scope was really outside of his remit. And for me, whether it was him or the minister himself that came, like you were saying, even the technocrats, when they came here, needed to go back to check a few things. Okay, this is a moving target. The invasion of the army worms is not a static matter. It is dynamic. Today, I think it started in 2 or 3 regions, and it keeps spreading. Yeah. So an answer I will give today might not, or answer I gave last week, might not reflect the situation as it is today. Okay. And so I want to say that I am certain that government is completely aware of the dangers it poses to food security issues, okay, and is doing their best to ensure that the invasion does not create a food security issue come the coming harvest season. The other thing I find a little disconcerting is this issue of ministers not showing up and deputy ministers coming. It's in the last parliament, the 6th parliament, was so regular that I find
even the speaker had a course.
I find it well, but of course they must do politics. That's why they are minority. It happened every time in the last parliament.
But it is wrong. I don't think if a deputy, because the deputy minister also has the capability.
And the deputy minister in this case is a very competent. He has a PhD in agri-economics. Nobody can say that he's not capable or competent.
Roland, it is not about the minister not coming. Our issue wasn't about the minister.
Well, we do understand what your issues were.
Our issue was that this is an emergency issue, and therefore the question was an emergency question. We expected the minister to be in the House on Friday, and when my majority leader, was giving his business statement, he said, "Oh, the minister himself wanted to answer the questions, so he'll be there on Friday." And our expectation was that the minister was out of the jurisdiction, and therefore he'll be on the floor to answer the question on Friday. Unfortunately, he didn't come. That was why we were all not happy that Tuesday, when the question was brought, Wednesday. Tuesday, the minister was not there, and therefore the deputy minister will have to come in on Wednesday. I mean, we cannot take the House for granted. If you know that your deputy minister is competent enough to do your work and answer your question, you should have asked him to come on Friday and answer the question. You shouldn't have wasted our time. Look at even the floor of the House. What are we doing there? It's just question and statement. Where are we going? And some of us are getting, we think that this government must sit up and bring work to the floor. There are laws that we started, we worked on. The Right to Information Bill, we've worked on it. What is preventing us from bringing that law back to the floor of the House, which they all agree that they were going to pass. There's no, virtually, it's about statement and questions.
So you're saying you're making Parliament idle?
Maybe he will answer the question.
No, but you are making, you're stating.
Roland, on Tuesday, what happened? We came, and the minister was not there to answer the question, and the speaker have to adjourn. Yesterday, what do we do? It was statement, question, and we adjourned.
Is that a worry for you?
It's a worry for us. It's a worry for even my colleagues here. They are worried about it. That in Parliament, you are supposed to work. Bring work, let's work. And what are we doing there?
You think there are backlog of issues that you can look at that are not being...
Exactly. I just mentioned one. Right to spouses bill, right to information bill. You know, there are a lot of bills there that we worked on. I mean, to the extent that we've got into consideration, plant breeders bill, which was controversial. I want to pass. I want to pass because we need to protect our scientists. Honorable Emmanuel is aware that this plant breeders bill will help our researchers to also make some money. And he's a researcher, he's a scientist. He knows what I'm talking about.
I'm a scientist.
Yes, he's a scientist. He knows what I'm talking about. If we can bring those bills back, which we have worked on in actually, I mean, it's just to take us through and then we pass it. But
when are you going for recess?
I think next 2 weeks. Yeah, 4th of August. So
okay. At the end of the day, we also know that government has a policy, an intended positive policy, planting for food and jobs.
Yeah.
It's supposed to create jobs, create the needed buffer in our food security, etc. Even whole West, I'm sure you'll be great beneficiaries, etc. If we're not able to tackle some of these things proactively, like for example, the fall army worm invasion, how that could be a dent on such a...
Exactly. That is why some of us were not too happy that the minister did not attach. He's a friend. He's been an old member. Did not attach the agency that we all expect to this particular thing. It does not mean that the deputy minister wasn't competent enough to answer the question. He answered according to his expertise and what he knows. But we're expecting that this thing should have been done last Friday, not yesterday.
Well, you see, Roland, I don't sit and hold brief for the minister. I want to believe that minister would want as much as possible. Indeed, like he said, the majority leader stated very clearly that the minister was very keen about coming himself. I am sure that if it was not some other very pressing matter, the minister would have come to answer the question. Let us not look like the minister avoids Parliament. If my memory serves me right, once or twice in this meeting, he has been on the floor of Parliament to answer questions. I want to state that probably, but for some very pressing issues, the minister would have been on the floor to answer the questions. I also want to state again that I think the government is taking this army worm invasion very seriously. You see, let's face it, issues like this, like epidemics, like invasion by nematodes or anything, a viral infection on coconut, these are things you can't always predict. They will come upon you suddenly, okay, and they constitute emergencies. I believe that in the last 2 or 3 months since the matter came up, government has done its best to contain the situation. If my memory serves me right, the last time I heard, I hear it had affected about 4% of planted space. That is in my memory serves me right. That is why I was saying that it is a moving target. It keeps changing. Let me state that probably in the areas where it started, it has been contained, but it's a moving target. It has moved from one place to another. If you attack it here, they find a way to move there. I wish to state that government takes this very seriously and is doing all it can to ensure that it is contained. Because very clearly, we understand the implication for food security.
But you see, Roland, my issue is not about government not taking it seriously. Government has taken it seriously. We all know government has taken it seriously. But what our technical planners doing? I mentioned that this is a perennial thing.
Our technical partners are doing a lot, apparently. Because I just told you we had the USAID technical advisor
was here
to the Ministry of Food and Agriculture.
Good. And they've allowed.
The contention is whether they are doing enough. I mean, that's another
exactly.
Thing.
So you cannot hold breath for government, especially to say that, oh, we are doing our best. Your best is not enough. We want to see, action. Let's eradicate it. I mean, if we all know that during the rainy season,
you think government is sleeping on the job?
Well, if you say so, I won't say they are sleeping on the job.
Then,
maybe
then that's not the case. Government is not sleeping on the job.
I think government is not sleeping at all on the job. I think this matter is quite well contained. I want to state that government is fully aware of the implication of not checking this matter.
All right. Now, the president has been interacting with the president of Switzerland, we're told. So on the front page, and apparently they're supposed to assist us, and in the process, we've even been able to secure $80 million. That's good news, if you ask me. We signed an MOU to improve value addition on cocoa, and we know that we're a great cocoa producer country, and in the process also we have great targets of having in 4 years a production levels of up to 1.4 million metric tons. That's good news for many cocoa farmers, wouldn't you say? I start with you.
Well, it is a good news, and I am happy that our production level will go high, will rise again to that metric ton. We are all hoping that by the next 4 or 5 years, we will see more production coming in. The only worry is that the $80 million, the details have not yet come to Parliament for us to know whether it's a grant, it's a loan, it's a concession. But as far as we are concerned, we believe that we reach a middle-level income, and therefore you will not have any grant again, you will not have any concession. It will all be a commercial loan, and so we'll be looking at the details to see where we are going with that. Roland, I believe that we have enough resources in this country to mobilize. Resources in this country to mobilize. We don't need to go and take any $80 million from Swiss or anywhere. Yes, we have a lot of resources. I mean, we've been told in this country that we have a lot of resources. We can do internal mobilization. The current government told us, all of us, you were there, we all believe. And I believe it. And therefore, people voted them to power. Today, we hear it's 80 million here. Another time we hear is about Chinese 20 billion, 14, 15, 19, 20 billion. We don't know where it is stopping. But that is not the issue. The issue is that I traveled recently to Ukraine. And I went to the president of Ukraine's shop, Rochester.
And the president of Ukraine, he has a chain of shops.
He has a shop that produces chocolate. So I bought some of the chocolates. And I was told by the shop attendant that this chocolate, the cocoa that they use for the chocolate comes from Ghana. And I was shocked. So I asked her, where did you buy? Did you buy it from Ghana? He said, no, they bought it from London. They have an agent in London that supplies them. And Ukraine chocolate is the best chocolate. Like, it's just like the Swiss chocolate.
I thought this is Swiss chocolate.
It's just like the Swiss. Well, for me, it was the best for me. That's my own.
Is it like Golden Tree?
Well,
okay, let's move on.
So I asked myself, can't we add value to our own cocoa? Can't we add value to our own cocoa? Do we have to sell the raw beans for people to add value to it, to create job opportunity for their own country? And I was startled because I could have, seen our own cocoa being transformed into paste and exported. That will add value to it. That will create job. The multiplying effect will be enough for us. We will not be crying. Our young brothers will not be crying that there are no jobs in this country. But here we are. We are told that we have $80 million from the Swiss government to add value to our cocoa. I hope and pray that this is true, it will come to pass, and then we can have our cocoa production go high, as well as have the cocoa adding value to our cocoa in this country.
Roland.
Sir.
I remember the first time Nana Addo Akufo-Addo tried to be president. He was clear in the things he said. If my memory serves me right, he is one politician who has always talked about the need to move our economy away from the Gajisbergian economy into a new paradigm.
Yeah, we used to hear that during the campaign.
I am saying that as far back as 2008, at his first attempt at being president, Nana Addo Akufo-Addo has been consistent in the need for this country to transform our economy. And for me, the operative words have been the need to move it from a Gajisbergian economy to a new paradigm. And 8 years after, by the grace of God and the magnanimity of the good people of this country, he is president. I think that all the things he has said and all the things he has done is a clear indication that he is putting actions to his words. I am thankful that the Swiss government has given us, let it be a grant, let it be a loan, let it be whatever, that we should use it to add value to cocoa, to our cocoa. You see, time was when there were a few cocoa production facilities in this country. We used to have WAMCO, we used to have CPC, we used to. In the last 8 years, all of those facilities that were known to add value to cocoa, where are they? In the last 8 years. And anybody that sits and is watching myself and my honorable colleague can establish it. In the last 8 years, all of those facilities have gone down. They were there. In the last 8 years, they have gone down. I will be happy that this part of this 80 million will go and resolve the problems at Cocoa Processing Company so that they can come up. Okay? I will be happy. There's a huge problem with WAMCO. But it used to be a major processor of our cocoa. There are a few others that have come up in the last couple of years. I think that as a people we must be happy that we can go in this direction. The only way for us to go is to add value to our cocoa. I want to state that I believe my friend knows that as for trading in cocoa, it has been from time immemorial. So it really and truly is not too important. Another very clear example, I'm saying this because he alluded to it, it's about the integrated aluminium industry we have always spoken about. I am saying that I am saying this because he alluded to, we have gone to China to talk about some, whether it is 10 million or 19 million or 15 million or 20 billion. Roland, we sit on close to 1 billion tons of bauxite.
Oh, I thought it's 400 and something.
No. If you add Chibi and Nyinahine and the little deposit in Awaso that we are mining now, but everybody clear. When our first president decided that needed to build Akosombo, a necessary add-on was a smelter. Okay, but of course, let me state that Valco by itself is nothing if it is not part of an integrated complex. Okay, all of us have known this in this country in the last 60 years. Every government and Roland, we are a 60-year republic. Sometimes, when people sit and point, we must find out in this 60 years, how many years has your political tradition have in taking the lead? No. Sometimes people say, and we haven't done this, and we haven't done this, and you haven't done this. Okay. My honorable colleague was talking about we go to Parliament and we sit down. And let me admit that we are not happy, but this is a new government. And you need to look at what somebody has done before you present it to Parliament.
Meaning what?
Oh, so you don't need to review. I think that this government is reviewing all the things we came to meet. It is necessary. We have a very clear mandate from the good people of this country, and we must.
I thought government is supposed to be a continuum.
Government is a continuum.
But you still do.
We are still paying salaries. We are still doing national health insurance. We are still doing Ghana Health Service. Government is a continuum. We are still doing parliament. We are still doing judiciary. But if there is a specific bill, it is necessary for this government to review and ensure that it is consistent with what it told the good people of this country that it is coming to do. But let me go back to this thing about, I am happy that in line with what President Akufo-Addo has always said, he is not sitting down, he has set out a plan to ensure that the things that Kwame Nkrumah spoke about, an integrated aluminium complex that has eluded this country all this while, he is putting actions to the words. Okay. So, yes, we have gone to China. We will not find, if you want to do aluminium, you must necessarily bring the bauxite. You must first and foremost, you must mine the bauxite. When you have mined the bauxite, you must transport the bauxite to a refinery. When you have transported the bauxite to a refinery, you must carry it to a smelter. And then it can become useful. Okay. So you need the railway.
It's a whole value chain.
It's a whole value chain. And it costs money.
And that's what the Vice President and the President intend to do with this initiative for the Chinese.
Yes, and mark my words, I think that before the end of the year, we'll begin to see some very positive things about it.
But at the end of the day, the subject of value addition with cocoa has not been an argument of today. It's been an argument of yesteryear. But how do we get the needed courage as a country to say that in the world of the geo-economic and geopolitics, we will be in a position to strive for what will be our own? Well, because I keep making this argument, we're not South Africa, we're not Egypt, we're not Algeria, we're not Tunisia, we're not even Nigeria.
Roland, you see, when my colleagues spoke about WAMCO and other companies that add value to our cocoa, what I know about all these companies that we don't have enough produce from cocoa for them to be able to turn the cocoa or add value to the cocoa, all because we have used our cocoa as collateral for the Buidam. Don't forget.
No. I think that what we give to the Chinese for Buidam is probably about 10,000 tons, metric tons.
So we have given some cocoa.
We are producing 800,000 tons.
Let me learn. WAMCO needs cocoa product. It needs cocoa beans to produce paste and turn cocoa to add value to cocoa. We've given some out. Now we are going to the Swiss. What are you using as collateral? It will be the same cocoa, right? Cocoa beans, because normally we export the cocoa beans to Switzerland.
So your point is what?
My point is
that the intention will not be met after all.
So we'll have the money, all right.
What if they come and set up a processing plant here?
That'd be great. And that's all.
They already have one, Barry Calibo.
So what is Calibo doing now? Barry Calibo, what are they doing? Are they producing enough? I don't know.
Not enough.
Can I make an intervention?
So you see, it is a good intention. Let's have the money. Let's wait till the end of the year if the money will come. If it comes, let's see whether all the lofty ideas that my colleagues spoke about, as he's so confident that at the end of the year, at the end of their 4-term mandate that Ghanaians have given them, the Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo led government will bring all this into fruition. Government or governance is continuum, and all of us will be happy that yes, we move from the Goggisberg economy to a new paradigm shift that they are talking. We will be happy. Won't you be happy, Roland?
I will
be happy. Ghanaians will be happy.
Roland,
people who are watching us will be happy. But the truth of the matter is that we are selling out. Roland, you remember in this country when our finance minister, former finance minister, said something that there should be smart borrowing.
Who is the former finance minister?
The former finance minister, Setekwe, Honorable Setekwe.
The immediate
past. He talked about smart borrowing. We chastised him. We said all kinds of things about him. Today, we are not talking about a smart borrowing. What is smart borrowing? Smart borrowing is simply that you borrowed, you borrowed and used the money for capital project that will bring investment. Is it not the same thing they are doing? Is it not smart borrowing? Are we looking at our debt to GDP in this country? We are not talking about that. Oh, yes, 20 billion is coming. This and that is coming. And we are happy. We are not talking about the ceiling. We are not talking about debt to GDP. We are not talking about those things. It is about the money coming. That's all we know about to do in this country. Mm.
So you think we're just continuing borrowing?
Let me state that. You see, WAMCO and all of this. I believe that viewers know what has happened in the last. Look.
Has WAMCO collapsed?
Well, it has. Yeah. CPC is not working. Verify this. Mm. But you see, if you have a cocoa administration that was more interested in constructing roads than looking after cocoa farmers, you came at, I will state here that when Kufuor became president, cocoa production was at 350,000 tons.
Yeah, true.
Pardon?
True.
By the time we were leaving, we had projected that by 2010, we will take cocoa to 1 million. Indeed, we had lost elections in 2008. But by virtue of the good things we did, 2010, when they were in power, we made 1 million. After that, what has happened? We hit an apogee and we have come down.
I think the last time was 750.
Are we not hearing? We borrowed $2 billion to buy cocoa. Today, the LBCs are not financed. Why is the money? We are being told that it has been used for some other things. To the extent that Cocoa Board owes road contractors $3 billion, almost $1 billion.
1 billion? Who said it?
Are you not hearing?
I know what.
I don't know when Cocoa.
I know what the board chairman of Cocoa Board said. Yes.
Yeah, it is public record. You see, you don't grow cocoa by only doing roads. You grow cocoa. There is husbandry. There is agronomy. Make sure that your husbandry or your agronomic practices, the things that you need to properly husband, is there. Cocoa roads is secondary. But if you don't produce the cocoa, what do you need the roads to do? All right. But I again, very interestingly, under an MPP administration, we have set a target to hit 1.4 billion in another 4 years.
Yes.
Mark my words. Maybe before the 4 years, we will get to the 1.4 million tons. As for the other things about the marketing, I am happy to say that between ourselves and Ivory Coast, that produce about 60%
of the world's
cocoa, we are beginning to tell ourselves that we cannot let the status quo remain. We should begin to find new things. That is why I am happy that when the Swiss president, Swiss is the center of chocolate manufacturing in the world. When the Swiss president came, what he has given us is he's just saying, he says, yes, I want your cocoa. Your cocoa has made my country famous. But you must also, we will give you, I don't know whether it's a loan or a grant, we can find out. But we'll also help you to begin to develop and add value to your cocoa. Okay, let us, as to what it is, we can find out later. But Roland, the point I want to make is that no, we don't have a challenge with WAMCO or with CPC because we guaranteed the Bui Dam construction with cocoa. It is, I think, it is only about 10,000 metric tons out of 800,000 tons we are producing. But if you go, we forward sell our cocoa. We we take money from the markets, so we must pay back. If you don't use the thing properly, and it has all become cocoa roads and fertilizer that has not been well tested and all of this. Roland, what happens? You find the problems that you're finding today.
Well, so let's look at some other stories, and this one we'll look at two more stories before we wrap up. But this time it's on the floor. We're told that drama unfolded on the floor of Parliament when two members of Parliament on the majority side in open defence challenged the majority leader, or say Chairman Sabonsu, on the formation of committees. And I'll need some education here. We're told that the Member of Parliament for Chuma Kwauma, who is in the third term, Dr. Kujo Appiah-Kubi, had expressed his desire to be chairman of the Health Committee during the reconstitution of the parliamentary committees, but apparently his spot was not given to him. It was rather given to a second-term colleague, Dr. Chum Nyama, a medical doctor, a development he was not happy with. The other MP supported his claims, insisting he was the right person for the chair. And if you look at the proceedings in Parliament, I was in the public gallery yesterday because I happened to have found myself in Parliament. And it was an interesting sight to behold. I didn't know whether it was a normal feature of parliamentary business. It was quite a misnomer.
Well, it's normal. I mean, you can bring anything up that you want to discuss. And our colleague, Dr. Appiah-Kubi, has every right to also protest that he's been in that committee for some time now. He's qualified as a third timer to take over that position. But Roland, he's my friend. Let me say this, that he is also a chairman of poverty reduction committee in Parliament, equal an important committee as poverty reduction committee. The problem we have in Parliament is that we classify or we grade some committees as juicy or better committee than others. You are a committee chairman. Appiah-Kubi is a committee chairman of poverty reduction. And if your colleague, who is a medical expert and, or a medical officer, being made because the second timer, you are a third timer, and his field is in that field, is that area, I don't see why he should. And I believe that young man is competent enough to be the chairman of because I've gone around with him on these TB issues, and his contribution was classic. I mean, so why should his colleague from the other side, that's the majority side, be fighting him? There are other issues than this one. Let me give you one example. There's one particular person who is the chairman of two committees, and they've not raised that one. Why are they not raising it? A chairman of two committees from the majority side. He's a chairman of a Constitution, Legal, and Parliamentary Affairs, and as well as the Judicial Committee. You ask yourself, why should one person, if don't they have the men, don't they have other lawyers who could be chairman of the various committees? In any case, our standing order says that in placing members at the various committees, they should look at their competence, they should look at their expertise, and they should look at the regional balance. This is what they have done. And I don't think that our colleague has been fair to his own colleague, who is a second timer. You are a chairman, and therefore you've been given where they think that your expertise is needed. He's been in poverty reduction as a ranking member before. I don't see why he cannot continue. If you want to make your committee more juicy or want to make your committee more vibrant, do it. You don't look at the other committees that you think that you should be a member or a chairman of that committee, and therefore you should be your other colleague. No, it's no. This one was below the belt yesterday.
I know it's a difficult situation for you. You can't comment on it.
I think it was completely unnecessary.
Needless.
That is why we have parliamentary leadership.
Well, he didn't consult the leadership.
If you read the story, the leader said he came to him and said that is what he wanted. It is up to the leadership to decide that I will place you here or I'll place you here. It is an appointment. And for God's sake, it is the prerogative of the leadership to make those appointments. I think it was so unnecessary. I think it was, frankly, he's my colleague and I don't want to comment, but I think it was needless. I think it was unnecessary.
Are you a chairman of a committee?
Yeah. I'm a chairman of a committee.
Which one?
I'm a chairman of the Committee on Environment, Science and Technology. Okay. I think it was.
If you were not, would you have been annoyed?
Why should I be? Why should I be? But in any case, the fact that you are not a chairman or the fact that you are not even a member of the committee does not preclude you from taking part in activities of the committee. You understand? I think as Parliament, as an institution, we have very major problems, and we shouldn't be allowing our detractors. We shouldn't be giving them fodder to feed on.
You mean Parliament's detractors?
Yeah, I mean, people are always wanting to find fault with Parliament and with parliamentarians. Right. We shouldn't.
What does it take to become a chairman of a committee? Is it your long experience, your expertise?
Well, you see, we have a committee called Committee on Selection of Committees, members into committees.
So the Committee
on Selection, chaired by, the Speaker himself. So it is at the prerogative of the Speaker to place you wherever. And I said our standing orders give clear indication as to who should be members of the various committees. There are criteria. The criteria is that, first of all, you should be, you should have expertise in that area. You should have experience in that area, and also the geographical, spread of members of Parliament. So those are the things that they look at. Roland, it is not about. There's a problem, especially when it comes to selection of committees. And I said, and I will continue to say that when I took over as the chairman of Government Assurance Committee, everybody knew the committee was a dead committee. Nobody wants to associate themselves.
Was it already in the books there?
Yes, it's there. Now it's powerful. I mean,
yeah, I know.
Yes, and we are coming back again stronger than Honorable. My colleague is also a member of that committee. Yeah. And very soon you hear that we start bringing ministers to come and answer questions as we used to do. I mean, why can't you turn your own committee? Poverty reduction. If I were to be the chairman of poverty reduction, poverty cut across all ministries. I don't see why you cannot make it vibrant.
But health is foremost.
Who said?
Poverty could be made vibrant, but health is foremost.
Who said?
You see,
there will always be at the front burner issues of national health insurance, part-time nurses going.
I completely disagree. You see, a committee is as good as how you make it. I have told everybody that. For me, I think the most important committee in Parliament must be the Committee of Environment, Science and Technology. Everything, as far as I'm concerned. Environment has become the front burner issue in the world. So it is up to me as chairman, together with my committee members, to place it where it belongs to. I don't want us to get into this. This committee is more important. I don't want us to.
Roland,
this is an internal
matter. I think
I can only say that.
I think
it was completely
I didn't know that you people were fighting over
your correspondent can also make a better, do some cross-check. Maybe there are bigger problem with the majority side than we all thought. Maybe it should be something that there's something that they are lingering, and he's venting it on the floor of the house.
I think it's an individual who.
Okay. Well, both of you now have experience, but I wanted to ask, ideally, something like this, it should be dealt internally before it becomes public.
Exactly. Shouldn't have come on the floor.
Absolutely. If you listen to the majority leader, he said the gentleman came to him and told him that he will give it a consideration. He didn't say that I will by all means do it for you. He said I will give it a consideration.
You mean that he will depose Dr. Nyama and put Dr. Apia Kubi?
Look, there was a chairman before. And by virtue of the fact that he was appointed into the executive, he can be. Roland, I don't think that we should be talking about this. It was so unnecessary.
This is MP solidarity.
In any case, you are a chairman of another committee.
Roland, it is even if you are not chairman. Look, you like it or you don't like it. Parliament is hierarchical. I am happy that I am an elected member of Parliament. As for an appointment, it is at the whims and caprices of the appointing authority. I don't see why we should make an appointment a matter like this. I think it's so. No, Roland. I think we should even stop this discussion because it opens it up further for tomorrow. It will become.
Or we can quote you a little. Quote a
No,
little.
no, I don't think we shouldn't allow this to happen.
Okay. So now, how is it going to be pacified?
Roland, can we move on to another topic?
All right. Apparently, the Akufo-Addo-led government is doing so well. We have inflationary trends going down, and we know what inflation means. It's impacting on prices of goods and services, and it has a positive reflection in the pockets of Ghanaians in terms of what they earn and how they manage what they earn. That should be good news for all of us. But it also means that government has been doing so well in fiscal management of the economy. Yes.
Yes. Roland, it is not only inflation. Inflation is down. Today, the T-bill rate is, I think it's 14, isn't it? I'm not sure.
Is it 14?
16, 14. I'm hearing it's not even beginning to become attractive again. People don't want to.
No, it's
not. People are used to it.
Oh, the 91-day treasury bill has dropped to 11 points.
Voila.
11 points.
You understand me?
And
then
the 81,
inflation is down.
The 81 is now 13.
Today, when you go to the bank, you are no more paying 36%. The banks will give you the money at 28%. It is coming down. You see, Roland, it is not what I say or what my colleague Emmanuel Bejra, MP for Whole West, says. Economics is measured by some indices. Virtually every index is pointing in the right direction. Virtually every index is pointing in the right direction. I'm sure that in the not too distant future, the minister will come back to the House with a mid-year review. We will find out that GDP is doing better. We'll find that debt to GDP is going down. We will find that, I am saying, economics is not about, I want to state again, that economics is not what Ejaku says, because it might be colored red, blue, and white. Economics is not what Honorable Emmanuel Bejra says, because it will be covered by red, what's it called, red, green, black, and white. Economics is about what the indices are saying. I state again that virtually every economic index is pointing in the right direction. And this, it is not serendipity. It's not that you are walking on the ground, you are walking and you found it. It has taken the hard work of a committed government that knows what it is about to achieve this.
I'm happy to hear my colleague so excited that the economic indices are working well. But when it came to cocoa issues, he said that, his previous government has laid a foundation for cocoa production in 2010 to hit the maximum that they have predicted. But he's not giving credit to the foundation that has been laid for our economic indices that will work well.
So
however,
you're saying that
I've not said it. I've just laid my foundation.
All these are reflections from what's happened at the previous.
He's not attributing it. He's not acknowledging it. So yes, they just jumped from the rooftop and they changed the economic indices in this country by the one and by snapping and by their economic guru, and things are working well. Roland, we all know in this country that and your basic economic, macroeconomic and microeconomic economics 101 will tell you that it is not only the indices, the economic indicators that like inflation that only matters. You have issues of interest rate, you have issues of unemployment rate, you have issues about growth, and these are all indicators.
Well, they are interrelated. And the indicators are all coming down.
So what about the unemployment rate? Is it coming down or is it going up?
Well, is it not?
No, I'm asking you. Please
No,
do
but it
your
has
search
a
for me.
reflection. If
Yes.
if you want me also to make a
Please,
contribution,
yes.
so if the interest rates are coming down, it means that the businesses can go back to the banks
And borrow money
and borrow money
and expand.
and they can expand.
So we have people now being employed.
Yes.
The factory lines.
Oh, yeah, he said yes. So it means that,
wait,
yes.
The conveyor belts
listeners,
that had been stagnant for the last 2-3 years will now be moving, and they will need people to man those.
So we are
Electricity, electricity is better now. Supply of electricity is better now.
Well, not the rates.
Pardon?
Not the rates, but it's better.
I said supply. I didn't say rate. The supply.
But that one has been on since the last administration, towards the last half.
Roland.
So all I'm saying is that they should give credit where credit is due. All these foundations have been laid by the previous government, and if you are seeing the fruit of it now, let's give credit to them. But in any case, people are still on the street. Employment rate is going high. We are not employing people. Jobs that we promise the youth are not forthcoming. Factories that we want to build in every region, one district, one factory.
You don't believe they'll come on?
I didn't say so.
Okay.
They
What
have
are
not.
you saying?
They have not come on
So
yet.
far.
So far, I haven't
zero.
seen anything. Zero. So let my brother relax. 4 years is almost there.
You don't think they'll meet their target?
We are waiting. I'm hoping.
So far, you haven't seen anything.
I haven't seen it on the
worried?
ground. I've not seen anything on
worried?
the ground. All we know is to
But they
borrow.
have 4 years.
All we know is to borrow. We are
But they have
borrowing. What about the 2 point?
It is not borrowing.
What is it?
My dear colleague.
What is
No,
it?
I think what he wants to say is that he asked for a desktop.
We have what
The
we
bond,
have done is to
recycle.
refinance. You want a borrowed money at 26%.
And then
somebody has gone and said, I will get it 19%.
So the John Mahama-
you must be clapping for him.
So the John Mahama-led administration is smart borrowing. This one is re-engineering.
Re-engineering.
Okay.
Oh my
You
God.
borrow money at
Emmanuel
26%.
Chamantie Japo is a member of parliament by Awaso West.
Oh my
That what you
God.
borrowed at 26%,
And,
refinances at 19%. You must be clapping
Emmanuel Bejra. Emmanuel Kosi Bejra is a member of parliament for Whole West.
My very good friend.
Yeah, he's an integral member of the NDC. And thanks, gentlemen, for passing through the show this morning.